Good morning again, Muscatine. Sometimes I like to clue you in on a little bit of the stuff behind the scenes. There's always a countdown while the intro is going on, and Chris is letting us know as it's getting closer. And normally you would expect like 10, 9, 8, or 5, 4, some sort of cadence, right? Today I get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And here we are. No, it's fun. It's amazing how it all works, but sometimes when we are just like laughing and giggling when the camera flips on, that's the kind of thing that you're missing out on. But if you want to come watch us live, freeze for food, and do this, you're more than welcome to. Go to discovermuscatine.com, click on the button at the top. You can come volunteer if you want. But as we mentioned, the Gantners were here a little earlier this morning, and we kind of talked about the food need in Muscatine overall, that the Salvation Army is one of the agencies that helps provide like what I'm going to call the retail function of the food service in Muscatine. They're the ones that are face-to-face. And what's really cool is I've got Jenny Colvin from Riverbend Food Bank here, who is kind of like I kind of think of you guys as like the wholesale network or hub and spoke. Like you guys are kind of like that center that all the agencies in a community can lean on, and not just Muscatine. So if you could real quick just introduce yourself, a little bit about what your day looks like at Riverbend, like the stuff you do, and then we'll kind of dive into some of the Muscatine information that people should really know.
My name is Jenny Colvin. I'm the Chief Development Officer at Riverbend Food Bank. Riverbend Food Bank serves 23 counties, both in Iowa and Illinois. Muscatine, of course, is one of them, one of 5 of the Iowa counties, and the rest are here in Illinois. Like you said, we're the middleman between getting the food comes to our warehouse, and then we work with the partner agencies, over 400 programs in our 23 counties that distribute food to the people. So yes, we are that middleman person that does that.
Which is really great because and I think what you were sort of alluding to is like, there's like big programs that like the manufacturers have, because, I'm going to speak for manufacturers. It's a lot easier for them if they can work with one organization to take, like, say you're, General Mills up in Cedar Rapids, right? Like, I would assume it's a lot easier if they've got pallets of stuff to take. It needs to go to one place. They don't have time and energy to distribute it. That's where you guys kind of come in. Is that sort of what it seems like?
Yep. We partner with manufacturers, and just like you said, we're lucky in our service area to have a Walmart distribution center in Sterling Rock Falls, right? Oh, right. So, prior to COVID, on a daily basis, sometimes more than once a day, we would get semis full of food coming from that Walmart distribution center. With COVID, everything has kind of changed, so it's not as frequent, but we still get a lot of food. I mean, they're one of our largest retail partners. We partner with Hy-Vee, we partner with Costco, we partner with Sam's, a lot of manufacturers and retailers. And you're right, partnering with the food bank allows us, between donated food and purchased food, the donated food, how we're helping is that food is not going into landfills. Every partnership we can make with a retailer or manufacturer, it helps eliminate that waste going into the landfill. It's putting food into hungry people's bellies. The partnerships we have to purchase food, because we're a 501c3, because we're a food bank, we have that buying power, so we're able to purchase food, more food for pennies on the dollar than what you or I, going to the grocery store could purchase. With COVID and with all of the supply chain issues that have come over the past few years has really changed operations and how we operate. And so with the price of food going up, we're spending a lot more money on food than we ever have before. So supporting the food bank with financial dollars or with food drives like this, it all helps so incredibly much to help people in need.
Well, and something to kind of know about the history of Riverbend a little bit, and this is Chris's perspective of the history, so don't fact check any of this, please. But when I first started working with Riverbend, it was kind of an interesting thing. A gentleman I know wanted to start a backpack program. We did this whole thing. He's like, go check out Riverbend and what they do. And, so the first thing that I do in this kind of thing is like, I'll go to like Charity Navigator, right? And because I want to just get this idea of what the model is and like how it works, just so I don't walk in looking like an idiot, because I do enough of that on my own anyway. And so, I'm looking through and, they have like standards, right? So like if you spend this much on programs instead of administration, you get ratings and like all this other fun stuff. And food banks across the board, but Riverbend in particular, it's kind of like off the charts. Like when you look at like program dollars, it's like, I think it was like 90 some plus percent.
96% of everything gets donated, comes right back into our programs.
Yeah. So, and that's, guys, when you look at like nonprofit metrics, and this is nerding out, I know, but the reason I tell you all that is to give you some background to know that when you donate to Riverbend directly, and even, you know, like in this case, say it's to the Salvation Army to be able to use at Riverbend, it's some of the most effective dollars you can give in a community, right? Because it does like 96%. I was close, 90. I mean, that's not too bad. You know, it goes right back into what you want it to, right? You don't have to worry about, you know, going to miscellaneous random stuff that doesn't actually help anybody. So,
I was just going to add, there's a huge need in Muscatine County, in Muscatine specifically. There's over 580,000 meals being missed in Muscatine County every year. That's with some nerdy data. That 7.6% is the food insecurity rate. How that translates into people is it's about 2,300 people, and more disturbingly, 1,200 kids every year that are missing meals not by choice. So you're right. The programs that partner with the Riverbend Food Bank, Salvation Army is a very strong partner. We help Salvation Army get foods into bellies. That's our role.
Well, and that's one thing, you know, to kind of mention, again, just kind of nerding out with data here. Remember, folks, like, I don't remember what the number is, like at the school district that is free and reduced, but it's somewhere around 50 to 60% of the families are receiving help with lunch, right, and breakfast. So if you think about it, when they go home, they're still in the same situation. And that's where a lot of these organizations come in and fill those holes, nights, weekends, you know, and obviously, as we all know, the community has gotten really good at coordinating all this. And so that's one thing also, like for a long time, Muscatine didn't really use Riverbend a lot, but it's, you know, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I would say, the utilization's gone up tremendously, which is nice to see our organizations understanding, because we do, like, it was funny to talk about like that, you have like that kind of food rescue function. We have like a food rescue thing here in town where like they pick it up and it goes and it gets moved around, and I'm sitting there going, hey guys, it's the same thing, you just do it on a bigger scale, right? Exactly. So as we talk about like say this $10,000 matching donation, how far, like what does that actually look like in food terms? Like,
so every dollar provides 5 meals. So that $10 donation will actually provide 50,000 meals for hungry people in Muscatine, which is huge. I mean, every dollar makes a huge difference, and every food donation makes a huge difference too. It's all good.
And what's great about the way this is going to work is, and I haven't got into tons of details yet because we've been kind of like working out all this, because the last thing that we want to do is like dump a ton of food on the Salvation Army today. Right? Because they've only got so much room. I don't know if you've ever been down to the food pantry down there. It's not super huge. I mean, they've done a really good job of organizing down there. But, and, you know, there's also like sometimes other organizations need things and stuff like that. So basically what we're going to be able to do is, in addition to some of the stuff that comes in, they're going to be able to just like, when they need the food, be able to go get it and all this other sort of stuff. So it's kind of like the equivalent. If we can get this matched, I don't want to forget to say that like 100,000 times, because this only works if we get it matched, folks, is they're going to be able to throughout the year make sure that the food bank has everything it needs. And then, they've talked, like, say MCSA is short on something, they can run up and get it. And like, it's all, because they're all Riverbend, like, so it's something that's going to work community wide. So it's great. And I know the Gantners they were telling me about one time that MCSA was a little short on something because something wasn't delivered on time. So they sent them some food over, and then MCSA sent it back as soon as their thing landed. And like, it's great to see the community do that. So as we talk about like the food need and food insecurity, what are some of the other things that are like important that you think from like the broad perspective are important for people to know? I
mentioned this before, the education piece. I mean, I've said dollars can go a lot farther in terms of what we can provide. $1 is 5 meals, right? But every can of corn, every food donated item that you can provide, if it's in your cupboard and you see that date on it, some people call it the expiration date. We call it the donate date because all that date represents is when the manufacturer thinks the food tastes the best. It's truly not bad food yet. Instead of throwing that away into the garbage because you think it's bad, come donate it to a pantry, one of the pantries here in Muscatine. Bring it to the food bank. Just donate it somewhere and don't throw it in the garbage, because if we all stop throwing away the food that we thought was bad, we could solve the hunger problem today. We just have this misperception about what is good and what is bad, but it's not.
Well, and that's one thing I remember the first time. So when I first started working with Riverbend, they were in this old, rundown, warehousey sort of thing over on the Illinois side of the river in Moline. And they were doing a great job. Like, you could tell that they were like outgrowing it super quickly. And then they move over to Davenport to a great facility. And what blew my mind about it was the amount of food that was just that, right? Because I always, like, you see the date and you don't really think about it. Even if it says like Best Buy, right? You don't even really think about that. You're like, oh, Best Buy, that means it's not gonna, like, I shouldn't open this, like, just, and it's not at all. Like, here's the thing, and I laugh. What's gonna happen to that thing? Like, say the date is today. What is today? The 4th? Yeah. I totally lost my stuff over the weekend. So it's the 4th. Say it said December 3rd. What happened to that thing overnight? Like, literally nothing. It's the same stuff. It's still gonna be fine, but the manufacturer, like you said, knows how long it tends to stay good in its best form. So is there, and now this is, no, you know what? We're not even going to go there. I was like, how long after? We're not going there.
Actually, I can answer that.
Oh, you can't? Oh, okay.
So there's actually an app that you can download for free on your phones. The app is called Food Keeper, and it's an amazing app. You can punch in any food, and it'll tell you how good it actually is, when it's been open, how much longer it's actually good, and all those things that I think you're leaning towards asking. Yeah. I like to just plug stuff in just to play with it and see, like, lime juice. Everyone has like the thing of lime juice in their fridge. Yeah, check it, because it doesn't last as long as you think. But there's a lot of foods that do last that long. So it's a really great utility, a resource to use.
Well, and here's the thing. If you have extra lime juice, that just means you need more gin. You just need, no. But that is what was it called? Food Keeper?
Food Keeper, yeah.
Food Keeper, it's an app. Go download it. That actually sounds like something that and I'm going to be honest, it won't be me. Melissa will be downloading that and putting it on, and it's so.
I'll also add one other thing. All of our volunteers that sort food in the warehouse in Davenport, they're all trained on what's good and what's bad. Obviously, we don't want to make people sick. That's counterproductive. So they check for bulging items. If the food item is opened, we won't take it. But otherwise, it's fair game. We'll take anything. The only thing that is regulated by that date is baby formula, because that's the nutrients start to break down in it. So that's the only thing that's truly has an expiration date that's printed on the label.
Gotcha. And there is something else that's kind of neat that I always think about when sorry, Chris, we've sort of meandered away, is like bread and some of these things that like are shorter shelf life items. You guys do I almost think of it like rocket shipping that stuff out. Like, I remember we'd go up to pick up backpacks, which this is the coolest program. Like, literally the backpacks came in, I don't know what they come in now, but they were like big Ziploc bags, and then they were like boxed so many to a box and whatever, pallet them out and go. But they're always like, do you need to take some bread? Like, every time we were there, do you need bread? You need and so how does that stuff work? Because like, that's obviously, I guess I don't even know how long bread's good for, because we eat it like crazy. It never gets that far. But like, how does that work?
Well, you're right. It has to go a lot quicker. Our perishable items, of course, have to move a lot quicker. I think it's just what you said. When our partner agencies come in, we just give them the bread as soon as we can. But I can say, when that bread starts to go bad, starts to get moldy or is ready to turn, we actually have a local farmer that comes and picks up the bread, and he uses that to feed his livestock and such. So we really try to keep stuff out of the landfill as much as possible.
Well, and that's, let's say it's going to some chicken. I don't know what chickens eat, but say it goes to chickens, and they're going to turn into food, and it's all going to work out in the long run anyway. So, holy cow, that was a lot, really quick. But guys, just to kind of sum it up, a couple things to remember is, even after all the stuff you see going on for food in Muscatine, the mobile food pantries, everything MCSA and Salvation Army and what? Backpacks. Yeah, like all those things. I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff. Even after that, earlier today I said 500,000. It's 580. I was again close. I'm usually close enough to be dangerous, right? But it means that we've got to get our tushes together and still do it. Lieutenant Macy was talking about a lady who had moved to town and it didn't have anything, and really one of her first experiences in Muscatine was the Salvation Army and being able to get food and get shelter and things like that. And we all know that's the kind of community we want to be. So make sure that you're figuring out a way. Take a couple minutes, go through it, bring it out. We'll have Hy-V's actually in between segments here. I got a text from Matt Schweitzer from Hy-V that there's going to be a big donation coming in a little later this morning that you'll want to stay tuned for. And also later this afternoon about 3:30, I believe it is, give or take. They're high schoolers, so who knows how accurate that time is going to be. But they're going to be out here with their Becky's going to shoot me for that. They're going to be out here with their donation. Student council and a whole bunch of them spent the last couple weeks doing some stuff, and I'll let them talk about it. But so you're going to start seeing this truck start and fill up really quickly. Don't forget, you can buy the $20 bags in at Hy-V. You can bring anything in you want. And Chris, are you waving at me or are you just... No. Okay. We have signals, and so, yeah, sometimes, who knows. But anyway, Jenny, was there anything else? Is that kind of the big things you wanted people to know? Anything else you can think of?
I just want to say thank you for putting this on. Thank you to all the sponsors that are supporting this. Thank you to the community for all of your help with this. We're here to help. And the food that is donated today, that gets donated from Muscatine, it stays in Muscatine. So good luck to you all, and thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jenny. Appreciate it. It's been great getting to know you over the last couple weeks as we've been working on some of this stuff. I'm sure we'll be doing more stuff. So Muscatine, don't forget, go attack the rest of the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind, and